Hello, I'm Jeff Stanley with Standley Handcrafted, and today we're going to be making soy candles using the low temp method. Now, the low temp method isn't really a standard that's out there. It's kind of not really something I came up with, but it's basically the way that I make my soy candles. Now, most manufacturers will suggest that you heat up soy to around 185, 180, somewhere in there, and add your fragrance oils around that temperature as well. So around 180, 175, anywhere in the hotter ranges like that. Me personally, I get much better results when I add the oils at a much lower temperature, so this is basically what we're going to be doing here. I'm going to show you how I go through the process and add those oils at around 115 or 110 degrees rather than 180. Now for this demo, we're doing exactly what we do in the other soy candle video. So basically I've got melting pitcher, I've got the wax, I've got the fragrance oil. We're going to be doing 2 pounds of soy 464, IGI 464, and I'm using Candle Science Apple Harvest. And I'm gonna be using soy, you can put about 2 ounces per pound, but I'm gonna be doing 1.5 per pound. So I've got 3 ounces of Candle Science Apple Harvest, and it's gonna be going into 6 8-ounce jelly jars. And I'm gonna be using HTP 104 wicks for this. Now I will say, if you're just now getting into candles and you're a beginner with soy, I don't recommend this method right off the bat. I would definitely get familiar or familiarize yourself with soy and how it works and how to blend and everything like that before you jump into this one. The only reason I suggest that, or kind of put a word of caution in that, is adding your oils to a much lower temperature. If you add too much oil, you can get a lot more seepage. It's not going to bond well with the wax. So definitely familiarize yourself with soy before you try this method. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into this one. I've actually got the wax heating up and melting behind me right now. It's just about done. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the camera down, and I'm going to show you exactly what I do for this low temp method. So as you can see right there, I've got the wax almost fully melted. The temperature is right around 180 degrees. So you're going to heat your wax all the way up to 180 degrees. And now that it's fully melted, I'm going to go ahead and pull that off and move it to the counter. Okay, so that's right at 180 degrees. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to keep stirring this about every minute or so, just to make sure that it stays fully melted. And then I'm going to go ahead and stir that and let it cool all the way down to around 120 degrees. And in the meantime, I've got all 6 jars. So the 2 pounds of 464 is gonna go into 6 8-ounce jelly jars. So I've got everything set up and waiting. So once it hits 120 degrees, we'll go ahead and add 3 ounces of Apple Harvest fragrance oil. All right, so it's just now starting to dip below 150. And you can see that it's still 100% melted. I keep stirring it about probably once a minute just to make sure that it doesn't start to harden up around the edges right there. So at 150 degrees, it's still completely melted. All right, now you can see, I think I can get that right there. We're looking right under 120, probably closer to 115 now. And you can see that wax is still completely melted. I'm gonna let that go down just a couple more degrees. Right about 110, and then I'm gonna go ahead and add that. So it's getting pretty close. And the reason I do this is because soy takes such a long time to cool that when you add the oils at 180 degrees, it takes a good hour and 15 minutes before it starts to get down to the point where it starts to solidify in the jars. So I like to eliminate a lot of that time where the fragrance is basically just burning off. So I'm gonna go ahead and add that at 110. And we'll see what happens. 37, can you get that? At 337, I'm gonna go ahead and add the oil. It's just over 110. And then I'm gonna give that a really good stir, just to make sure it gets good and binded together. And you can see that it's still fully melted. Adding the oil probably dropped it a couple degrees. And then I'm gonna go ahead and hit a stopwatch on this as well. I wanna see how long it takes to pour and then how long it takes to get to basically a solidified form to where we know it's not releasing any scent. And you can see as soon as I pour it into the jars, it's already starting to turn, so that's just above the melting point. It hasn't really hit the gel stage, but it's definitely starting to cool as soon as we pour it in those jars. Go ahead and even some of these out. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and let that timer run, and then I'm gonna come back when those are cool, and we'll see how long it takes for them to basically solidify. All right, so we're looking just over 11 minutes. Those are definitely not letting off any more fragrance. Still a little melted in the middle, but the outsides are definitely cooling down, so we'll let those harden up. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the low temp method. We've got 6 candles, nice smooth top. And again, the reason why I like to do the low temp method is you really remove a lot of that time where the candle's cooling down and burning off fragrance. Now, a lot of people don't like this method, and that's why testing is always important. You wanna test at 180, test at 150, test at 120, test at 110, just to see what you like and how your candles come out. Now, I personally have not had the greatest luck at adding my fragrance oils to soy at 180, 170. I just don't think they're very strong. I have never gotten as strong of a candle as I do with the low temp method. Every time I've done this, and I've tested this with probably about 4 or 5, and this is the 6th scent that I've tested with the low temp method, and I've always gotten a very strong soy candle with this method. And as always, if I glossed over something or if something didn't make sense in here, just go ahead and ask in the comments down below. I try to go through and answer every single one of them. If you have any ideas on this method or another method, please go ahead and send them to me. And of course, you can reach out to me through all of the links down below in the video description. Email standleyhandcrafted@gmail.com. And again, don't forget to sign up or join the Facebook DIY candle making group. It just hit 7,500 members, very active community with a lot of knowledgeable candle makers in there, as well as a lot of beginners in there that are just now starting out. So I've got the description in the video description down below, or the link in the video description down below. So go ahead and click the link and join the Facebook group. And as always, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, and thank you for watching.